So we're going to look at the chloroplast, and we want to see the features, the structural suitability of the chloroplast for the process of photosynthesis. It means we're asking ourselves, when we look at the chloroplast structurally, what does it have that makes it efficiently carry on the process of photosynthesis? That's the structural suitability for that process. Now remember, we said the chloroplast is an organelle which is found inside the cell. It means what you're seeing here is that organelle. Please, it's not a cell, but this whole structure is actually found inside plant cells. And we would like to call it an organ because we describe or we define a cell as the basic structural and functional unit of every known living organism. It means that a cell can function on its own, and just like us, cells do have their own organs. We call them cytoplasmic inclusions. But the cell being extremely small, it means that its own organs will also be extremely small. We will not call them organs per se, as we call our own organs like the livers, the heart, the lungs traditionally. No, they are too small. So we rather call them organelles, else meaning little organs. It means the chloroplast is a little organ, an organelle found inside the cytoplasm of plant cells. Now, when we then look at the chloroplast structurally, what are the things that make it capable to drive this process, or prepared or well equipped for the process of photosynthesis? Looking at the chloroplast, we can see a double membrane or an envelope. Double because it has an outer layer and an inner layer. And what is its importance? First, primarily, the importance of this membrane is to enclose all the internal contents of the chloroplast, to serve as a fence, a barrier, so that all of them are found inside an enclosure. While it's able to enclose everything, this double layer is permeable. It means it can allow substances to go in and out. There are substances that are required for photosynthesis and substances that are given off after photosynthesis has taken place. For example, it's permeable. It means it can allow water to come in. It can allow carbon dioxide to come in. It can allow oxygen to go out. Water and carbon dioxide are reactants for photosynthesis. Hence, for photosynthesis to occur, we need these two substances. If this membrane was not permeable, then water and carbon dioxide would never come in, photosynthesis would never occur. So since it's permeable, that's why it's capable to allow these substances to come in. And when oxygen is made as a byproduct, then oxygen can also exit the chloroplast through the permeable membrane. Now, additionally, we also have, when we look inside the chloroplast, we'll see the internal part. It's made up of ground material. I want you at this point to think of the cytoplasm of a typical animal cell as we know it. Okay, so this, I would like to relate it to the traditional cytoplasm we know of. But this internal part is what we call the stroma. And I would like you to refer to this one part here as region number 2. I'll tell you later on why I'm calling it region number 2. Now, within the stroma, there are also inclusions, just like we find inclusions in the cytoplasm. One of such inclusions are these stacks or bundles that look like coins. We call them bundles of coins. Bundles that look like coins. There's one here. We call this whole bundle put together, the bundle, when it's together, we call it a granum. And I would like us to call the granum region number 1. Again, I'll tell you later why I'm calling it region number 1. So, there are many of such bundles, another granum, and another granum. If we look at this, I've already circled 4 granum. There are much more than that. One is called a granum. Plural is called grana. Grana. If we look at each granum, then we will see that it's made up of kind of these coins I was talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coins. Each of these coins is called a thylakoid. So 2 points in here, call them thylakoids for plural. Again, when you look critically at the thylakoids, you will notice that in this diagram specifically, they've been colored green. It's not by mistake. We're trying to give it its real natural color. It's colored green because it contains that pigment, the green pigment that we call chlorophyll. That pigment is able, because it is green, like any pigment, anything that has color is able to trap light. For example, black is able to trap all the wavelengths or spectra of light. That's why black gets very hot under the sun. So the fact that this pigment, chlorophyll, has color, it means it has also that ability to trap light. Which light? Sunlight. So that it can then use one aspect of that light, which is energy, to drive this whole process of photosynthesis. So specifically, yes, we say in general now that the chlorophyll is found inside the chloroplast, but if they were to ask you specifically, you will say then that chlorophyll is found inside the thylakoids of the granum of the chloroplast. We also call the thylakoids, also call them lamellae. Lamella. Now again, if we look inside the stroma, we will find little molecules like this one here. These little molecules, we call them ribosomes. There's quite a number of them around. We call them ribosomes. And what are ribosomes? Ribosomes are the site for protein synthesis. It means they are the place, the area, or the factory where proteins are made. Why are ribosomes present inside the chloroplast? They are present because there is a certain type of protein that needs to be made here. And that type of protein, it's not illustrated here, are enzymes. They are also found around the stroma. Enzymes are proteins in nature. Enzymes are biological catalysts that speed up the rate of chemical reactions that occur inside cells or cellular inclusions like this chloroplast here. Now, these enzymes, we shall see where they come into play when we are talking about the process of photosynthesis. Added to that, remember our equation of photosynthesis: carbon dioxide plus water plus energy gives glucose plus oxygen. So when photosynthesis occurs, it produces glucose. Otherwise, that can be coupled to form starch. It means food is being produced, and that food, the first place where that food will be found will be inside the chloroplast here. That's why we have present inside the stroma, we have starch grains or starch granules that are all over here. It means these ones, photosynthesis has occurred, they have been formed already. They are ready to be packaged and transported through the phloem, where they will be taken to different plant parts to make the plant grow in height and in size, and in mass. So basically, this is how prepared the chloroplast is for the process of photosynthesis. I take just a quickly around it again. The chloroplast has a bilayer or double membrane to allow substances to go in and out. That's oxygen and water in, carbon dioxide and water in, then oxygen out. It has the stroma, which is ground substance, where we have inclusions, one of which is the granum, which contains thylakoids, which contain chlorophyll to trap sunlight, and it has the ribosomes that are the sites of protein synthesis that will help to produce enzymes, and it's going to have enzymes which will drive The second stage of photosynthesis, we'll talk about that later. And at the end of photosynthesis, when we have produced starch, we'll find starch grains here ready to be packaged and taken to the phloem. So that is the structural suitability of the chloroplast in terms of photosynthesis.